Hey Hero Academia fans, it's Tripl-L and welcome to the Who is Eri, an intro to the character and her quirk, part of the Who is Eri series of videos on the channel. This video is intended for those viewers who have no idea who the character is and want to get an idea of her. Maybe you've heard about her on the internet. If you are a seasoned Hero Academia fan that wants a more in-depth discussion about the character in general, I highly recommend checking out the other videos that are part of the Who is Eri series. There's one where I specifically tackled the question of whether or not Eri was the one that affected Night Eye's foresight. If you're down for listening to someone else's opinion as he tries to break down the logic that he's seen about that particular theory, check out that video. If you're an anime only fan and you're okay with spoilers, you can also check out the Who is Eri After Overhaul video, as that one has information and spoilers about Eri's future in My Hero Academia. And now let's get into the introduction of Who is Eri for the people who are wondering. And of course everyone, spoiler alert. Eri is a young girl who serves as the damsel in distress for the first half of the 4th season of the My Hero Academia anime. Eri is the centerpiece of villain Overhaul's plans to ruin Hero Society and raise up the Yakuza, a now dying organization in the My Hero Academia world. Unfortunately, because of this, Eri is subjected to cruel torture and is subjected to painful experiments and is brought to the point of death many times. Eventually, Eri begins to believe that she is really a cursed child and that things happening to her are just as deserved. Despite being absolutely terrified, Eri is a kind girl who will heroically sacrifice herself if it means that other people will not get hurt. Other things to know about Eri in general: she accidentally killed her dad, her mother abandoned her and called her cursed, she's constantly bought expensive toys but doesn't play with them due to trauma. Her hair had a color shift, being white in the manga and then bluish in the anime. The point of season 4 is to stop Overhaul and save Eri, and a whole lot of people want to save Eri, and she notices. And my god, when she notices, it's an amazing moment in the anime. Eri's name is made up of the kanji meaning break and reason, and put together means destruction. And those are a bunch of quick facts about the child. Moving on to the quirk. Eri's quirk is one of the most mysterious quirks in Hero Academia, known only as rewind, a mutation, a very rare type of quirk that comes about with no connection to the previous generation, or in other words, no connection to the parents' quirks. Pretty much think about mutations in your middle school or high school biology class. When it's active, a horn on Eri's head emits light. Interestingly, some part of rewind is present throughout Eri's body as Shizaki cuts the girl's limbs up in his experiments to extract some type of element. So while Eri's quirk emits a light from her horn, Eri's quirk also has a mutant component to it. We don't exactly know what substance exactly was extracted from Eri's body. Eri's quirk, when initially introduced, is one that can rewind living things, taking them backwards in development. It makes it seem like this is a time-based quirk, but Overhaul's speech makes this much more abstract. Overhaul was able to extract something of the quirk from Eri's body and used it to make a serum that could remove someone's quirk. Later on, he waxes on how if used correctly, Eri could rewind a person into being a monkey. That possibility implies that rewind operates on a level beyond time, targeting concepts of evolution or development. And because it's targeting concepts that have an innate history, it looks like it's affecting time. Or who knows, maybe it affects both time and developmental history. Anyway, in the story, Eri has been able to rewind someone into non-existence, has removed quirks, has undone fusions, and has undone critical injuries. Unfortunately, Eri can't control her quirk currently, so the quirk can't be relied upon to solve tough problems. And this was very quickly established as soon as the heroes got their hands on her. Monoma called this quirk an accumulation type quirk, where something needs to get built up in order for the quirk to be usable. In Eri's case, it seems that the bigger her horn gets, the closer the quirk is to being usable, or the closer it is to going out of control, depends on your perspective. Interestingly, the quirk doesn't seem to affect people's memories, as no character has shown a gap in their consciousness or recollections, implying the quirk only affects the physical state of the characters and not the mental state, at least from what we have seen. Another small thing is that the rate at which the quirk affects people is constantly changing, being fast enough to be able to rewind someone to non-existence very quickly, being fast enough to be able to rewind Shizaki out of a state that he had been in for many minutes within a moment, twice, and being slow enough that Izuku could be under the effects for more than a moment without rewinding. After deliberating with a council of fans, though, many of us came to the conclusion that the rate of rewind suits the plot's purposes. There may be logic here, but it isn't clear with the samples that we currently have. Finally, Eri's quirk is a story-breaking power, as it could be used to heal All Might, Izuku, and Mirio. The story balanced this by immediately establishing that Eri's quirk was an unreliable quantity, and the story thwarted any attempts to try and take advantage of it so far. That said, even after her introductory arc, Eri is still brought up in the story. When you follow her involvement, Eri is very much like her horn. The character is building up to something, and when that goes off, it's sure to be a game-changing moment. Anyway, that is the very quick intro to Eri and her quirk. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are a very casual Hero Academia fan, and if you feel brave enough, feel free to check out any of the other Who is Eri series of videos on the channel. Anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.